All right. Welcome back, week 2, The Artist's Way. Yeah, how have I been the past week? It's been a really interesting week. It's been very chaotic. The past 3 days I've been grinding my jaw, or like my jaw has been so clenched that I've been getting pain, and then I got a flare up in my eye. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, your body knows before your mind. I think I definitely I'm very overstimulated. And you might be wondering, well, you're doing all the things that you want to be doing. Duh, that's the goal. You want to be having your calendar filled with the most like love and joy and devotion that you can, but that doesn't mean bringing yourself to a point of depletion. So, I'm definitely feeling a little bit like I need to take some time. But it's so funny. Like you never decide when you gotta take a time out. It's when your body's signaling like you need to step back. So that's what we're doing right now. I got really like I came into overdrive when I got back to Florence because I was like I have so many things to do. Like I'm just not in a point where I want to be traveling right now. Literally going away for the weekend, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so behind." And so I spun the fucking clocks in my mind and in my body, and I was just like, and I didn't realize how overstimulated I was till the jaw and my pain. I mean, the jaw and my pain. Yeah, the jaw and my pain. The pain in my jaw was so overwhelming, and I was like texting my friend because I'd made plans, and she was like, "Girl, like you're doing a lot. Like you need to just like," and I'm like, "That's right. I need to just ease into this experience." And love myself a little bit more because yes, it's hustling, but it's also playing. So I'm letting myself just like mellow out a little bit. um yeah, week two was on. I'm already at week 3. Oh my God, week 2, recovering a sense of identity. I don't know necessarily if the pages, like there was a couple things that really resonated with me. One of them was she spoke about crazy makers. Now, crazy makers are personalities that create storm centers. They're often charismatic, frequently charming, highly inventive, and powerfully persuasive. I have had so many crazy makers in my life, and I have grown up around so many crazy makers. I've been very deeply like attached to many crazy makers could be because they've been my close friends. And being able to kind of like, I don't always think categorizing things makes them better because, our brain loves to just like put things in boxes. But I think this created space. Okay, I'm contradicting myself. I do think it's important to have categories or create systems because that also helps you overcome. But I think sometimes they can become a limit. Duality and everything. Another time, another story. Crazy makers. So I really took a step back and I realized how many times I've let someone who's a crazy maker get in my own process of being a creative, right? Because you fear actually stepping into your full power. Therefore, you hand your power over to other people, right? And specifically, crazy makers, they're like drama, basically. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a little drama, a little gossip, whatever, all in good heart. I think it's the fact that they're not willing to face their own stuff, therefore they inflict it on everyone around them. And it's not your responsibility. Also hold someone else's shit because you have your own becoming to surrender to. We were talking about like artist blocks and like how sometimes artist blocks can create addiction to like fantasy. This was interesting because I was like, wait, that makes sense, and I feel that. People think being an artist and a creative means that you are constantly in some form of escapism. Actually, being one with your creative path makes you so incredibly present that you cannot like, you don't have time for this escapism because you're unfolding into where you are now. And I was like, yeah, actually, being in this creative process has made me so present in every area of my life. It's insane. Because I'm here, I'm not avoiding the energy that like piles up because it's really important for me specifically having so many like, sensitivities, like health problems, intolerances. Moving the energy out of my body, like creating, right? Because we forget that it's a channel that's constantly coming through us, and if we resist the energy, it gets blocked up, right? And in turn, you turn into a crazy maker, or you turn into someone who, like, abides by a crazy maker because you don't want to face those blockages, because those blockages are really intense to face, right? You're moving limiting beliefs, you're moving versions of yourself that you attached yourself to. Anyway, I don't think I'm gonna go through the tasks really, because the tasks and they're pretty personalized. But one that I found really interesting that I'm gonna like pinpoint is this graph, where it's like it tells you to list major activities, or like, I guess major focuses. Like, I did exercise, play, work, friends, romance, adventure, and then you can kind of like graph them, but you can, I don't know. So it kind of gives you a look into how balanced you are. I actually think this one's like much higher, so maybe not that balanced right now. And I just wanted to go through like what's been happening. So, these are kind of like key things that I've digested over the past like week or two, even like coming back into first week. And starting with the first thing. So you had to create affirmations to counteract your limiting beliefs or limitations in like being an artist or creative. My first thing was being called crazy. I do not enjoy being called crazy. And a lot of the people I have worked with, a lot of people love to throw that around for someone who's creative. I don't like it, because I actually think it takes a lot more intelligence, courage, and strength to be creating your path than just abiding by what others tell you to do, you know? So this like was a really big frustration. Like from day one, I was like, I don't like being called crazy, bro. Like, no. Like, I don't know, even now I'm like, no. But then I went over to my friend Klaus, and she was like, actually, for so long, I haven't been able to express myself. This is her talking to me. So when someone calls me crazy, I'm like, yeah, it makes me feel powerful, and it makes me understand or acknowledge the fact that they know that I'm unlimited. So I was like, wait, if you shift your perspective or meaning on the world, it creates a completely different reality. So I was like, okay, crazy, sure, okay, sure. I have an independent mind. I have the courage to walk the path that is destined for me, to create my own path and move forward. I have the courage to release myself from the shackles and not let myself get stuck in other people's opinions. The entire conversation I had with her was super enlightening. And yeah, next thing. Something that I experienced like full body with someone in my life is that if they cannot come up to you on your level, they will bring you down to theirs. I'll say it again. If they cannot meet you at your level, the only way to meet you is to bring you down to theirs. One more time. If they cannot come up to your level and where you are, they will bring you down to theirs, because that's the only access point they have to you. That's the only one. And I've been learning a lot about boundaries in this, like, not to sound like an arrogant prick, but I have value, I am important, my beliefs have value, like, the way I walk in the world means something, because I do it honestly and I do it out of my heart. And that's not gonna change. It's just not. I've always been that way. It's always been very hard for me to be that way, because a lot of people don't operate by those guidelines. But when you walk that path, you're gonna have to understand something called a boundary, especially between you and people who do not value you. Next, Do it or don't, the time will pass regardless. Don't know why I wrote that, but facts. What do you mean you're scared of chasing your dreams? What do you mean you're scared of doing the thing you've always wanted to do? Like, you're in the here and the now. No other timeline exists but when you're here, right? You can choose to, like, whatever, quantum leap to a different one where you're doing the thing, but that requires a change. I think people forget about that, especially with, like, manifestation. It's not necessarily the thing. It is actually the person who embodies it and lives that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you know, I want to be a runner. Okay, but you have to run. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, I want to be, like, strong. I want to be fit. You're going to have to treat yourself with respect and, like, honor your sleep, honor your food, honor the fact that you have to move your body. Like, things don't... Everyone's looking for a quick fix. Even, like, take Ozempic. Right? And it's like, I don't have anything against it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. What I have is a question around why you would take it if it's not necessary to your health condition. You know, if you don't have diabetes, then I don't know. This is a little controversial. I feel like it is controversial. Whatever. But honestly, it's your life. It's not mine. You know? So, peace and love. Oh, I watched 2 videos this week that were brilliant. Number 1, Skeppy? Skeppy. Leo Skeppy. And the video on YouTube. Basically, he put out a video called Reversing the Fear of Being Seen. I have never resonated with a YouTube video so deeply. He spoke about how he always was one step ahead of the criticism, as in, like, he was always aware of every fault he had, so he was on the path of bettering it always. But this created kind of like almost this fear, or maybe like just preoccupation and anxiety over not being enough, because when we like over attach ourselves to inadequacy, naturally that's where our focus or our energy goes towards. So he was like, you know, I never thought, I was like, oh, you know, if they hate on me, at least my body's tea, you know what I mean? So he would like overwork himself in the gym, or it's like, oh, you know, even if they don't think my stuff is liable, at least like I'm doing this, right? Or I look like this. I've always been like one step ahead of all of my faults, so that if anyone ever has anything to say, it's like, well, you know, I can do this, right? Well, at least I can do this, you know? It's like, oh, fuck you, at least I can run like half a marathon, or like, fuck you, at least like, you know, I look good, or my hair is nice, or like, you know, I have nice you know what I mean? All of these things to like, or even like being in fashion, it's like, well, you know, they might think I'm not worthy of being here, but look, I have Issey Miyake on, like, fuck you. And I think that, I don't even know how to put that into words, but do you get what I'm saying? It's like, you compensate for the fact that you don't feel adequate enough to stand on your own, so then you in turn to these physical aspects, like your body, the way you look, what clothes you have, etc., etc. And it's actually funny because he said, I'm in a place where I don't, like, come at me, bro. I'm so solid in it that I don't care. And I feel like that's how, you know, I've been opening up to feeling. I'm like, dude, come, like, you know, what are you gonna say that's gonna, like, you're not perfect, you're this and that. Bro, I'm learning. Bro, I'm young. Bro, I still have time. What do you mean? Of course I'm not perfect. Being a creative, it's like, I haven't been classically trained. Like, I did art in high school and different modalities of art growing up, right? I've always kind of been very creative with the way I've, like, made projects. I've always drawn, but I haven't been classically trained. I've been having a fear that someone's going to be like, but you haven't been classically trained. It's like, you can't be drawing. And it's like, okay, like, Who says I'm not gonna go get classically trained? Who says I'm not gonna take a course? Who said I'm not, who knows the way my life is gonna go or what direction I'm gonna go? But when it's a time to engage with that and further my knowledge on it, you best believe I'm gonna jump into it. But until then, it's like, why would I knock myself because it's not perfect, right? It's like overstimulating yourself with doing so many things to prove that you are worthy enough. I feel like I'm done with that, bro. I don't need to prove myself. I don't. The fact that I'm here and I'm trying is enough, right? And I'm not into that toxic positivity where it's like, I am enough because I am. It's like, yes, bro, duh. But I mean, I am enough and I'm still working towards the dreams that are unfolding for me. I'm not just like, I'm gonna fucking take a vacation, I'm enough. No, bro, I'm enough, so therefore I will show up in my full capacity. It's action and it's intention, and then it's also your energetic output. They all work together. The next video I listened to that was really good is called Balance and Sacrifice, Art and Time by Mickey Galvin. And basically something interesting that she touched on was that sometimes or often when we climb that corporate scale or the scale of working more and exerting ourselves more in order to make more money, we end up in turn turning to these addictive habits like overspending, buying things we don't need, overeating, overdrinking, undereating, because this void in ourselves that is dying to be seen, this devotion we want to pour into, the things we actually want to create with our life, how we want to be of service, that's not being accounted for because we're too engaged with the fact that we do exist in a capitalist society and we do have to somehow find a way to be able to sustain ourselves. My artist date this week was really simple. At half an hour before one of my meetings, I literally I got out of yoga and I walked over to this one cafe I wanted to try. And I sat and I ordered a matcha. But before I did, I was like, no, I can go to the grocery store and get myself a coconut water and just walk around. To take a pause of stillness in a busy day is hard for me. So I sat at that cafe for 20 minutes and I just stared at the sun. I wasn't on my phone and I had a matcha, and that was probably the best artist date I could have had because the rest of the day I felt so present because I let myself just breathe. I think that's so important. So my artist date this week, it wasn't fancy. I only spent €5, but I don't think you have to be spending anything for an artist date anyway. It's a moment for you to come back to yourself. Okay, I had a little break, but I'm back. I made these bean cookies. You might be like, oh my god, I can't believe, you're one of those health bitches and you're making beans into cookies. Bro, if it's good, it's good. Don't knock it until you try it. And also, my stomach doesn't feel that great when I have them regular cookies. This, however, makes me feel good. It's that simple. What actually makes your body feel good? Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate. I was standing in the square with one of my friends, and he goes, yeah, I really want to just pull money out of thin air, alchemical style, because he was talking to me about a project he was starting, and I was like, wait, alchemical style, that's the way to do it, that's the style to do it. You really have infinite possibilities on how to attract wealth into your life. The thing is nowadays it's so open that it's so easy to get distracted. So nowadays the problem isn't opening, the problem is being embodied, being grounded, being true, being honest, and doing the work. So it's no longer about opening the minds. The minds are open, right? But, have they overextended? Are we now in a place of psychosis instead of a place of alignment? So, yeah, I kind of wanted to leave off with that. Recalibrated what there's chocolate on my I've rewatching that the whole time. Damn. extra protein. But anyway, yeah, I think that third week is gonna be the hardest, and then it's gonna go up, and then it might dip again, like week 10. So yeah. See you next week. Peace and love. You know what to do. I don't need to tell you.